Hi, this is Jonathan. Now, I've had some requests when I posted my Luke 2 with the clear tone string and me mentioning that I did some Tender Loving Care TLC on it. And a couple of you guys want to know what are my process in doing this Tender Loving Care treatment on my guitar. So I decided to choose this. This is my made in Japan Fender contemporary Strat. This has been with me for the longest time, so I thought I would just change strings, do some TLC for it, and just walk you through the process, right? Now, if you're new to this channel, I just want to subscribe to this channel and press the bell for notification of future videos and follow and be part of Patreon to support this channel. I would appreciate it. So first thing I would do is to take off all the strings, and I'm going to speed up that process because it'll take a bit of time. And right after that, just stay tuned. So because all my intonation has been set up properly, my springs tensions are all been set up properly. This is a really good, if I'm not mistaken, this is a Wilkinson or a, let me see, yeah, it's a Wilkinson trem bar that Wayne installed me like, I don't know, almost a decade back. And it works well. So I have all the springs tension set up, the intonation done, and I know what gauge I'm using. So I'm just going to take all the strings off at one time, at one go. And this has lock-in tuners. If I'm not mistaken, these are the Goto 510 tuners, 1:18 ratio. This is a Magnum lock. Really nice. I still have pieces of plastic still stuck onto it. Yep, so I'm gonna unlock this and just going to change all the strings. All right. And now that I've taken off all the strings, it's time for me to change the battery inside because I have a set of the EMG's Vince Gill set. So there is a 9-volt battery right inside here in the compartment here. So what I did was to loosen the screws, just to take out a couple of screws, just enough for me to access the battery compartment, which I'm going to do right now. Right, so it's right here. Real simple. Yeah, Wayne did all this for me when he installed this for me. So all I need to do is just take it off And this is like a normal alkaline battery, so I'm going to change it with a brand new one. This expires in 2026, so it's probably going to last me a couple of years. And once I'm inside, all I do is to pop it right back in and screw back the pick guard. So in case you're wondering, I'm wearing my hat because I don't want hair to come down over my face when I'm bending down. In any case, right now, after the installation of the batteries, this is kind of bare for me to access, so I can kind of like use certain tools and certain cloths to kind of wipe off the smudges in between. I kind of like this. This is really good. This is from Nomad. There's another one here which is like really useful for like tight spaces. So I'm just going to do that right now. You can use a brush to kind of like clean off any dust in between. I like to clean the tremolo bridge right here so that I can make it kind of shiny if I can. Well, not as good as brand new, but close enough. Yeah, it's pretty nice right here. So once I'm done with this, give it a finer brush, and I'm good to go to oiling the fretboard. Again, this is from Nomad. This is a F1 oil, right? You can see this, yeah. So this is a good kind of a lemon-ish oil for fretboard. It's meant for fretboards. So what I do is I'll try to do like a drop, try to put the guitar as level as you can every 2 frets. Just a touch. Don't have to be too much. You don't have to drown the fretboard. Right? And that's about it. So what I like to do, some guys will use a cloth or something. I like to use my fingers, so I just kind of like wrap it all over and cover as much fretboard space as I can. Try to make sure that none of it goes to the side if you can, because then it gets kind of messy because you gotta clean up the side, which I've already done so far at the lower frets. I'm a messy guy. So once I start doing that, yeah, works. Let's kind of rub it into the fretboard. Now this fretboard has been with me for a while. And I believe Wayne refretted these frets for me. Now, these are not stainless steel, these are like pure nickel, but they are jumbo. And in the process, he kind of like cleaned up the fretboard really nicely for me. I think he did a new nut for me, not mistaken, or these are the old nuts, so he just recut it. I don't know. In that case, this guitar plays perfectly. So once it's like, fully oiled, what I like to do is to wipe off the excess. With a tissue paper, and not on the fretboard, but on the side. Yeah, just on the side, so that any excess oil will be rubbed off from the neck. Just the side, not on the fretboard. Let the oil stay for a couple of minutes, so that it will kind of penetrate through the woods. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for it, I would clean the neck, or rather the headstock. So just wipe off any dust or any smudges that you can see in the headstock. Careful not to wipe off the oil from the fretboard. Turn it around, right, and clean the locking tuners. So since I'm at it, I might as well just take off all the plastic wrapping that is on the tuners, the 510 tuners. Just imagine that this wrapping has been in the back of this locking tuner for a decade, or more than a decade, I think. Alright, once I've done that, okay, so all I need to do is just to wait for the oil to kind of penetrate, and then we'll do the polishing of the frets. Now I'm going to polish the frets, so I'm using this fret polishing kit again from Nomad. right? So all these are available in wherever music stores that carries accessories and cleaning equipment. These are all available locally in Singapore from City Music. So it's pretty nice of them to send me all this couple of years back, 2 years, a year and a half. So it comes in with 3 sizes: medium, small, and jumbo fret sizes. So what I would do is to find the fret size that fits. Okay, so this is the one. Oh, but this, I think that one will be better. All right, so you don't have to use this if you don't want to. You can always use AutoSwirl. Make sure you have one of these protectors so that any of the AutoSwirl metal polisher doesn't go into your fretboard. That's the most important thing. But in any case, this solution or this cream is supposedly safe for the fretboard, so that's what they say. But again, you have the fret guard to kind of like make sure that none of it, or at least not all of it, is on the fretboard itself. So what I do is I don't apply it directly into the fret itself. I'll apply just a touch onto onto the cloth, just a bit. We're talking about a bit. And what I do is I will just start polishing 2 frets at one time. Just to have, sometimes 3 frets at one time, just to have the solution apply to the frets. All right. So I'm going to do 3. So I start polishing right now. Straight away you can see that the frets are starting to look really nice. So after you're done with the polishing of all the frets, what I do is I just kind of like clean it up and clean the fretboard, so if there's any leftover on the fretboard, it will clean itself up. Don't worry, there's another process that will make sure that none of this material, this polisher, would be in the fretboard for long. So when you're polishing the frets, it's essential that you take special care at the edges, right here or right here. You can see this right on the side, because this is where most of the gunk is at, and it's a pain to take off actually if you're sensitive with your fingers like me, because I don't like to kind of exert too much force on my fingers as I grow older. Yeah, it just pain involved and aches, and I don't necessarily like to do all this if I can help it. And once you're done, what you do is you get yourself a guitar polisher. Again, I'm using the Music Nomad, the Guitar 1 polisher. All right. So what I do is I get my micro cloth. All right. Again, I'm not going to spray on the fretboard. I'm going to spray on the cloth itself. Squirt it too, and then I'm going to go over the fretboard. Now this is after the oil has been dried, the fretboard oil I'm talking about. So we just have to go over it. And what it does is that you clean up the excess metal polisher if there's any, and it brings back the shine a bit, the sheen to it. And if you buff it well enough, it will shine. The light. You notice I have my top light on so you can see better. Yeah. And the frets will shine too at the same time. It's looking mighty good to me right now. So it's up to you if you want to apply some more polisher, you can do that, but this is the end result. Alright, ain't that shiny? So once this is done, I would need to do another squirt at another place of the cloth. And what I'll do is I would apply this polish to the headstock as well, and to the lock-in tuners, right the bridge there, alright, and the neck. Let's give it a good rub. Now, just a little bit of a history on this neck. I actually sand down the finish on this neck because I just want it to be more smooth, and there's a video about it in case you're interested. I actually sand down 3 guitars on that afternoon. One of them is this, and the other one is a CST24, and one more guitar, I forgot which one. Yeah. So now this neck is really smooth, right? And just to add a bit of polish into it, and it looks really nice. Now on close inspection, this guitar is like been around. And talking about relic guitar, this is the way I want my relic guitar to be. I want to relic it myself. So there's a whole bunch of scratch, cuts and bruises everywhere. But I did it myself. This is because I spent years playing on this guitar, and I'm loving it. So at the same time, when you're doing your frets, and if you see there are like gunk in between the frets, which this is pretty clean, what I do is I will take it's a credit card or a normal card. A name card will be the best because you can kind of scrap it off without, scratching the fretboard. Like I said, this fretboard is pretty clean, but sometimes I will see like occasional scratch in between the frets, and I'll use this to clear it out. It's pretty clean, so that's all you need to do. So if you have a gunky fretboard with all your years of sweat and dirt, fried chicken, whatever, use a credit card and kind of scrape off, especially right in, right the side of the fret. So that's pretty hard to take off. So kind of be careful. You don't want to injure your fretboard. So right after I've done all that, now it's time to polish up the whole guitar, to apply a polish onto the guitar itself, the body especially. So we have gone through that cleaning process for here, so I'm going to do it one more time because after what you've done to the fretboard and everything, it's going to be like, there'll probably be dust flying around, and my tremolo system has this soft fit to kind of like dislodge itself. I don't know why. Okay, so now it's back. So once it's down, remember to clean below the tremolo system. Yeah, don't forget that. And once you're done, all you need to do is to polish your guitar. So again, this time I would do the opposite. I will apply the polish directly to guitar instead of the cloth. Be generous about this. You don't have to like save or stinge or anything like that. Yeah, just polish. Just apply the polish generously onto your guitar, especially the front. All right, into the pick guard too, and your pickup cover. Don't forget the spaces in between the knobs. All right, right here. As you go around, give that neck joint, the neck plate, a good rub. There's a bit of rust in here, so it don't matter to me. Yeah. Once you've done that, again, apply a nice amount to the back. Now I have a back plate on. I took it off. So right now with this, I'll just kind of polish it around the side without the back plate. Once you buff it, you see the original finish come alive. This is a made in Japan. I think it's like 1980, 80 something, 87, or maybe no, 85. And the polish, or rather the finish on this guitar is exceptional, right? It just withstood the test of time. Like if you notice at the back, you can see some of the belt marks. Yeah. Once you've done that, all that's left to do is to restring it back, and we're back in business. So after the changing of strings and the wiping down the guitar, I did intonation adjustment because different strings, even though they're the same gauge, you know, they have different tensions. So I kind of adjust the intonation a little bit. This tremolo system is kind of old, and I think I might need to change this to a Vega trem sooner or later. In any case, if you find that when you're playing on a new set of strings and a new setup, that it's going out of tune, what you can do is to get a nut loop. This is called Tune It, right? From Nomad. And what you do is you apply right in between the slots. Just a little bit will do, and just kind of wipe off the excess, and it should stay in tune relatively well. I didn't have to do this because I haven't started playing yet, so I haven't noticed how big of a difference the tuning is going to be when I'm using the trem. And I think I had some loop left over from the last time, so I don't know. I might just have to apply it sooner or later. I'm just going to let this string settle down for a while. And yeah, that's about it. So again, to recap on changing the strings, and because this is an EMG set, this is the Vince Gill, I have to change the batteries. And in the process of having the strings off, you have this whole space that is available for cleanup, and you can kind of polish it. Again, you don't have to use all those tools that I've used, those materials that I use from Nomad. You can use your own thing. Instead of a polisher, or cheaper, and a really good alternative would be lemon pledge, those that you use for your furniture. Those will work just as well for guitars. And for the lemon oil, you can probably get some nice fretboard oil from the music shops around your place. It doesn't have to be from Nomad. And right after that, changing the strings, wiping down of the headstock and the locking tuners and everything. And right after that, you polish your frets, and there are a couple of good fret polishers around the market, and they're relatively cheap. If you can shop for a set and do your polishing. Again, you can use autosol with a piece of cloth, but be careful that you don't have any of the autosol on your fretboard, because that's not good, especially after you oil the fretboard. So wipe off the excess, and then again use a polish to kind of like go over the fretboard again without the strings. Have a sheen buff it, and then restring the guitar again. Do what necessary intonation you need to do, and adjustments, or tension on the springs at the back. As you can see, I have my back plate back on, and now it's all been set up, ready to rock and roll. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a hassle doing this video because I gotta do this whole process, in front of you, so that you know what in the world what was I doing. It's how should we call it? It's a must if you have a couple of guitars in your arsenal, and after months of not playing, or even after heavy playing, your strings were gonna go. There'll be like gunk and sweat, especially those of you who have sweaty palms. I'm blessed with non-sweaty palms, so my strings actually last a relatively long time without it getting rusty or anything like that. So it's always good to clear up the gunk for your fretboard, because the gunk in your fretboard would play chaos on your intonation and the playing, how should we call it, the comfort of playing. You don't feel good when you're playing, because you can feel the gunk underneath your fingertips. So it's essentially you clear off the gunk. And it's always good to wipe down your guitar every time you play, especially those of you who likes chicken wings and whatever. Pork rinds. Yeah. So once you get all that gone, just try to maintain your guitar as best as possible every time you play it, and you don't have to do a whole lot of stuff come maintenance day. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Press that bell for notification of future videos that follow, and be part of Patrons to support this channel. I would appreciate it. I want to thank all my patrons for the wonderful love, support, and friendship. Thank you so much, guys. So if you have any other things to add in your TLC treatment of your guitars, please feel free to just write it down into the comment section. We will all want to hear about it. So in the meantime, you guys please take care, and I'll see you on the live stream tomorrow. Yeah, and we can discuss about this even more. Take care. Ciao.